Chapter 6. The Holiness of Form. A message from Archangel Raphael in unison with the choir of angels in the presence of Archangel Gabriel. Prelude. Beloved living Christs, by divine design and by your will, you have been imbued with the extension of the I Am of God. Therefore you are literally a Christ, being one with Him. As Christ, you are the light of the world. You are illumined by the light of the lamp. You are already living a new era in creation. You have completed your path to truth and are ready to accept the eternal revelations of love. Blessed souls of the Father, pure souls full of holiness, you have gone through the blessed process of refinement and metanoia. You have left behind what you once thought you were. You're now completely dedicated to what you have always been, not according to what your mind told you, but according to the truth that resides in the divine mind. We speak to you in singular and in plural, and also to you in your great diversity, because we speak to your soul, to the totality of what you are. We speak to your being. You are ready to accept that you are one mind, one heart, one holy love, one reality, one being. To accept this truth and to live it as who you truly are. Today we have come again, as we will continue to do until the end of time. We have come in response to the will of the Father, who has declared that you will not be orphans, that Christ will be with you always. We come in love and gratitude for your presence, existence, and holiness. We thank you for opening your hearts and minds to the voice of love. You who receive these words, share them and carry them in silence of your heart. You accept them with love, even though you know not how they came. Despite understanding little of what is said, still you go forward with faith and real hope, because your heart knows it. You recognize in this work the voice of truth and follow it, because you are the daughters and sons of truth. There are also those of you who have not yet joined this work, but will, because the advancement of God's love is irresistible. To all of you as one being, we say to you in the name of heaven, thank you for your love. Thank you for your loving willingness to listen. Be enlightened and be pierced by the divine light, which is our being as well as yours. You are beings of light. You are truly holy beings. You are the Christs of God. Beloved of all that is holy, if you knew the value of you, who you are, you would dance, play the zither, and sing hymns of praise to God the Father and Creator for giving you life, a life that is salvation for all creation, and through which you participate in the life of God. Not only you, but everything that exists is the effect of creative love. Illumined souls begin to meditate serenely and unwaveringly on your inestimable value. For words cannot convey your identity, nor the beauty you radiate. Your souls are, in a way, like rainbows, each unique and particular combinations of color, the source of which is God. Each of you is unique. God is the source that colors life. God is the painter of the masterpiece of each creature, including you. Every aspect of creation reflects everlasting beauty in a special way. Thus we call you the beauty of Christ. The pure soul, like a rainbow, extends through creation from side to side. This is the reality of being, because love encompasses everything that exists. The pure soul reflects the beauty of God as droplets of water cause light to be refracted and a rainbow formed. When you observe a rainbow, the sun is behind you. Similarly with the soul and your purpose, there is the sun, which is the light of your soul. There the droplets of water, where the light is reflected, which is consciousness, or the capacity of being aware. And you are the observer, the I, the identity that knows that consciousness is aware of the self. The sun spreads its rays of light toward the water droplet, and you see refracted light of many colors. Without the droplets of water, no color would display, but thanks to the ability of light to refract through the crystal line water droplets, you can see beauty. Similarly, does it happen with form. Episode 2. Form and knowledge. Form and its sacred nature is what we speak of now. Together we remember the sanctity of form, created by God, so that its glory, splendor, grace and eternal life can be known directly. This knowledge is achieved thanks to the pure soul's capacity for reflection. Like a mirror in which the light that never fades is refracted. In the world of form created by God, the Creator makes himself known by sharing himself, as in the rainbow, where beautiful colors of light become visible. We speak of form itself as well as the ability to reflect. Are you surprised? And ask what concrete contribution this can have in your lives? Let us answer this question. Children of light, in your minds are millennia of beliefs that whisper to you that the world of form, the world of bodies, matter, time and space, is either without meaning or is incomprehensible. Perhaps many no longer seek to unveil this mystery. For others, physical creation is worthy of admiration, given its unfathomable vastness and complexity. But not much more than that. Still others, it is simply a transient place where one must travel. Who knows why? To some it is a whim of fate. For others it is without meaning. One cannot live in peace with such thoughts. Now is the time to remove such uncertainties forever, which we do together in union and relationship. We do it in the presence of love. To understand the purpose of the world of matter, time and space, it is necessary to focus on the relationship you have with it, rather than on it itself. Why? Because the only problem is that of relationship. The problem is the relationship you have with creation, not creation itself. It is your response to everything that happens that makes your life experience what it is, not the events themselves. Every relationship says something about you. In your relationship with creation, you know yourself. It is where you exist, since what cannot be known cannot truly exist. Being and knowing are one and the same. Observe how your relationship with creation leads you to understand the purpose of life. Beloved of God, we assure you that understanding the purpose of the physical plane, the realm of form, space, time and matter, is the last rung on the ladder we must climb to finally reach the peaks of uncreated truth. All the other steps are now behind. Some caused pain, others joy. All the other steps are now behind. Some caused pain, others joy. Some were difficult, some were easy. It doesn't matter. All are behind you now. This is the last bastion of egoic thought pattern, the last foolish thought to release, or more accurately, the last custom to abandon forever. The habit of believing that your existence is not of great value. Taking this step will liberate your mind and your heart. A breath of pure air will enter the abode of light, your being. True joy, happiness that was forgotten but never lost, will resurface from the depths of your heart. You stand now before the last rung that separates your mind from the mind of God. Episode 3, Remembrance of the New World. Sisters and brothers, this world is sacred. Feel how your soul is refreshed when it feels the soft breeze of this truth. The world is sacred because the living Christ, in the form of Jesus, has overcome it and created a new world for you. That world is what we will now bring, through your memory, to your consciousness. Let's start by remembering that God is the Lord of time. God is the creator of everything. Nothing, including form, can exist without His will. God created the bodies with holiness and beauty. Everything He creates is holy, perfect, and beautiful. Imagine form as existing in pure potentiality, as thought, not yet born, waiting to be conceived, a power yet to become action. He created the creatures by which particular ways of being, each expressed the glory of God in its own way. The world of form exists for God to be known in Him, with Him, and through Him. That is the purpose of creation, to know yourself in God and therefore to be. Without form you would not exist because you would not have awareness of your existence. You would exist only as pure, non-manifested potentiality. To exist but not to be aware of your existence is to exist halfway. Being fully aware of who you are in an essential part of your being. Everyone carries the innate impulse to know themselves. You may wonder how we could say that form is what allows you to know yourself, when there are beings that do not have specific form. This demonstrates the attachment of the mind to the concrete, to a system of thought based on the body. However, the reality of form is not only physical. There is spiritual form of which the body is an expression, but not only expression. Formless love adopts a form in each created being. We will speak more of this later. Yet form is a limitation, and this is where the apparent dilemma lies. If God is incapable of creating limitation, how can he have created a limited world? Herein is the error of believing that an apparent limit creates absolute limitation. We will clarify this. Forms are limited, but not the kind of limitation you thought. Form must be seen as outlines, contours of what shapes something, rather than as limitation. This is why there are different ways of loving, different ways of being, and different forms of expression. Form should not be understood as limitation in the sense that it has been understood until now. Forms are simply outlines, something that reveals beauty precisely because of its limits. Without an outline of form, there would be nothing. Everything would be amorphous. If a contour did not exist, what could be individualized? How could you ever recognize your sister or brother? To whom or to what could you give love? Sons and daughters of God. If form did not exist, the self could not exist. You would not exist. And if there were no self or no you, then relationship or the consciousness of relationship could not exist. Therefore love could not exist because love is relationship. What you are is part of God, which he himself first individuated, not in the sense of separation, but in the sense of creating an identifiable unit, and gave it form later to finally make it known. Form is the effect of love without attributes, so that it can be known in relationship. Just as you can see a rainbow when the droplet of water is refracted. Similarly, there is an aspect of pure love of God that could be known without the existence, that could not be known without the existence of your soul. Just as you see a rainbow when the droplet of water is refracted, similarly there's an aspect of pure love of God that could not be known without the existence of your soul. Your spirit is like a drop of pure water that allows the beauty and divinity of God to be reflected. You have been created like a droplet of water, not so that it separates you from the ocean, but so that through you is reflected the face of God. When you look at any aspect of creation, you look at God, in the part and in the whole. Likewise, one who looks at you looks at God himself. We are getting closer to the truth of Christ. Christ is the crystalline being that God extended to you and to all creation. To be one with Christ is to be the crystal through which the light of God is refracted. Without that crystal, who could see the light? Nobody, because nobody can see the sun face to face. No one can see the truth except in its effects. Holy daughters and sons, God's true creation, not the one you think it is the effect of his infinite love for you. section 4, sharing and knowing. Now we go one step further. We begin to remember that form, the physical universe, is like a pure crystal in which life is reflected. You know you are alive because everything shows you life. All of creation shows you the face of God. A single droplet of water would not form a rainbow. A multitude of droplets joined together are necessary. And so it is with the manifestation of God. Without each and every aspect of creation, you could not know God. God's pure light is reflected in the mirror of creation. This is how God makes himself known. Each created being participates in the joy that is God. Each created being participates in the joy that God is. To be able to share, what is shared must be known, and there must also be someone to receive the gift. Giving and receiving in a single act is the relationship of an I with a you, who are one in nature and two in person. When you include the relationship itself, you have the three persons of the Holy Trinity, the divine I, the divine you, and the divine relationship. One divine nature in three. This is relationship. This is union. This is sharing in the Creator's way. Since God has nothing other than himself, then what God has wanted to share is himself, by creating you and every one. God is the gift, sharing what he is, and for which creation has been created. Not because of a whim, but because as a being, a divine being, God cannot stop expanding, giving, creating, and extending love again and again in a giving stream that has no beginning or end. Likewise, you cannot stop expanding, giving, creating, and extending love. Daughters and sons of holiness, the form that God created, not the way you perceive with the bodily senses or with the thinking mind, nor the form you usually call your body, has been created in perfect harmony with the being of pure love that God is, and was created to give you yourself. Without that creation, which is part of God's creative plan, you could not have an identity. You would be something, but not someone. The physical universe as you perceive it through your ego is not the universe of divine form. Rather, the physical universe emerged as a loving response in union with the Father to your desire to know yourself and God through the path of the knowledge of opposites. That path is always temporary, with all that is needed to achieve the desired goal of separation and to experience the opposite of love. It is a way that requires pain and sacrifice, suffering, contraction, and a fading away. the opposite of love. This way of knowing by means of opposite is an option, but not the only one, of course. In the Garden of Eden there are many trees. One of them is that of direct knowledge. Knowledge reached without pain but through revelation. This is the way of God. This is the path that He invites you to travel, but He does not impose it, nor is it the only path. You are called to know yourself. How you come by that knowledge is the existential question. You can try to reach knowledge by way of sacrifice or opposites, but you will not reach it that way because it is impossible. Or you can arrive only through direct revelation, the path of mercy. Blessed soul, love is calling you. Love tells you one more time, I want mercy and not sacrifice. I accept direct revelation now as the only way of knowledge for you, as the only path in accord with your nature. And you will begin to abandon the unnecessary pain of experiencing what is not love. This is how you will return to the sanctity of the world of form created by God, which the world of matter can be its holy reflection if you so choose, just like water droplets in a rainbow. Do it by renouncing the compulsion to interpret things, life and yourself. Sisters and brothers of the love that God is, the thinking mind was never necessary. Lay it aside. Divine reason will be revealed to you in all its glory, beauty and perfection, without effort and with pure joy. Let yourself be loved.